It's good to see you. My name is Borino. I've been coaching, working in real estate, being involved with this. You ready for this? Over 20 years. Crazy, right? I got my license in 1674, arrived to America. I've been doing it for a very long time, and I've seen it thick and thin. And today, we're going to discuss some big turbulent changes that are happening in our industry. Does it really affect you? Is this really the end of the business as we know it? Will these changes really cut deep into your profits? What do you have to know and what do you have to do to not just survive, but to crush it, to be the real estate rock star, to be the awesome agent, helping people, making money, helping clients, enjoying the business. That's why we're here. Good morning, everybody. Kelly checking in. Lovely to see you. Karen, love to see you, Karen. Good morning. Hello. And on our Facebook side, who's checking in? Jackie's checking in. Good morning. Mark, Greg, Karen, Ram, Shannon, Sean, and of course my man Todd, always with us. You're with us almost every day, Todd. That's pretty amazing. Anyway, so let's dig in. What does this all mean? What's going on? For those of you who don't know, brief overview of what's happening. Realtor.com just announced that instead of selling leads to real estate agents, now they're going to be feeding all of them to Opcity, which they purchased for $210 million recently. And then Opcity will be referring these leads to agents for, as of right now, 35% referral fee. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Opcity still owns that lead, and they have data. And they will monitor, and whatever that client, if they resell or purchase something else within the next 24 months, another 35%. Ka-ching. Where's that cool sound effect? Let's cue it up. And then again. So that's the setup. So now Realtor.com is moving away from the traditional model. It seems like, remember a few years ago, there were these Realtor.com and Zillow, they will not be brokers. They're here as friends. They pledge to be friends of realtors. Now, if I pay a referral fee, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving you legal advice. My expertise is marketing, real estate. But if I pay somebody a referral fee, wouldn't it make the other entity a broker? De facto, right? Not from a legal perspective, but from practical business perspective. So things have changed, right? Just a few years ago, no, we're not brokers, we're not moving on your business. Now they realize that selling shitty leads, for the most part, most agents never made them work. Few did, or few have. Why not just cut into the business? Why not just get into the business? And what's stopping them from getting into the mortgage business, getting into title business, getting into the auxiliary services? That's where the profits are. There'll be over 5 million transactions. So instead of just these recycled, regurgitated online leads, why not get in? Why not get in on the business? Many other companies are trying it, right? Open Door, Purple Bricks, a million others. They see the opportunity. And you know why they see the opportunity? The reason I want to talk to you today. The reason they see the opportunity, because most agents screw things up. Most agents don't have the system in place to nurture those leads and turn them into business. And they will gladly jump on this opportunity because now Opcity will be nurturing these leads. They will be doing all the follow-up, all the nurturing until the lead is ready. Then they will forward it to the agent. How well they convert, time will tell. I don't know. But the reason they're stepping in is because they see an opportunity. And the question is your competence, your systems, your persistence. That's what's happening, friends. There are shifts. Now, let me show you something else. Our good friends at Facebook, and we are here on Facebook. I love the platform. But just think, they have the algorithm that is called the predictable behavioral models. That means based on your past behavior, entities like Facebook can now predict your future behavior. Look at this. These algorithms are now so advanced that Facebook is now able to tell whether your relationship, even if you haven't shared this information publicly, and when your partner will break up. They can tell before you can tell how successful your relationship will be, up to 80% accuracy rate. 2 months, listen to this. If this doesn't shock you, I don't know what will. 2 months before you even know it yourself. In other words, now the AI is becoming so advanced that based on your past behavior, how many times you click on a picture, what you type, where you spend time online, and now Facebook is tracking it across the board, not just on Facebook. They know what you're going to do before you know what you're going to do. So when they can do it with relationships, why not with who's going to buy or sell a house? How soon? Where are they going to move? Think about that. So Facebook has already announced many changes, right? You can't target by zip code, age. There are a lot of restrictions. What's stopping Facebook from getting onto the real estate game? just like Zillow and just like realtor.com and all the others. Why not have good old Facebook come to you and say, hey, we'll sell you these buyers for a referral fee? Wouldn't that make Facebook a broker? How about Amazon? Same model, they know human behavior better than humans know their behavior. What's stopping these companies from stepping in? Now, I'm not here to fearmonger you. That's not my job. I'm not here to scare you or to tell you it's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it in real estate, but I feel fine because I have my espresso. Oh yeah, baby. So here's what it means. And this is why we're here today. Is this the end of the world as we know it? Yes. Things are changing. They're changing rapidly. That's number one. Be aware of them. Stay on top of it. Don't be caught with your pants down going, oh, I didn't know. Oopsie. Be aware what's going on. Because if you're not aware and if your prospects are aware, if you're not really understanding what's going on and your clients do, you're up the shit creek, my friends. No bueno. My darling is leaving. Wave. Bye, darling. You've got to be aware. So stay on top of it. Understand what it means. This is a big shift and a big change. Will it be rolled worldwide across the US? Hard to tell. Probably. I mean, realtor.com is making $210 million bet on it, so chances are, yes, they will. Will it work? We'll see. But it's a big shift and a big change. And I suspect that there'll be other changes coming. So number one, be aware. Stay on top. Understand what's going on. There'll be changes like the iBuyer, iSeller, instant offers. That's going to impact your business. Because what it's going to come down to is, what is best for the consumer? Here is my prediction. Number one, the disruption will not come from a single company, but from consumers. What's better for them? And what we'll see, in my opinion, is the market will diversify. There'll be a small group of people who will like the iOffer. And yes, it costs extra fees. I understand how it works. It's not necessarily the best deal when it comes to your bottom line of your sellers in some cases. But if somebody says, well, fuck it, I don't care, I just need to unload it. It's like CarMax. Years ago, I had an SUV. Went to CarMax, made me an offer, signed everything, sold, done. We were done in like 15 minutes, the whole thing. They inspected the car. It was done like that. Could I fuck around with it, put it on Craigslist, do other things, trade-ins and whatever else? Of course. And I could have had probably a few $100s more, maybe 1,000. And I paid the convenience fee. You're getting it? So there will be buyers and sellers out there who will maybe understand that a lot of these offers will cost them a little extra, and they will still go for it. There is some evidence already for people who say, well, you know what? Rather than fixing up the house, keeping it clean, having a bunch of strangers wandering through it for weeks at a time, we just went for it. We pulled the plug. Again, be informed. Because if it's a good deal for the client, if it's a good deal for the consumer, the system will survive. It's a shitty deal, the system will die. Case in point, Blockbuster. Was it really Netflix that killed the Blockbuster? No, Netflix came with a better solution. It was the consumer who said, I'd rather stream than drive to a shitty store, wait in line, then hope that the movie I want to watch is there, then pay a late fee because I don't bring it back, and all that bullshit. Netflix just to figure out a better way that was better for the consumer. Uber figured out a better way. Amazon figured out a better way. Airbnb figured out a better way. Who's going to figure out a better way in real estate? What is a better way? For time being, you have nothing to worry about, because here is what I see. There's plenty of room for purple bricks. There's plenty of room for discount. They've been around for a long time. There's nothing new. They've been companies and agents cutting commissions and doing it for flat fees since the day one, since the huts were sold on the banks of the Atlantic Ocean. So it's not new. What is new is they have now more staying power. They have more marketing power. And it seems like commission, or the fees, what it costs to sell, is just part of the equation when it comes to consumer making a decision. Which brings us to the most important message I'm going to give you today. There will always be a room for confident, competent expert. But more now than ever, it will come down to a few things you gotta have in place to not just survive, but to crush it, be successful, help a bunch of people make a lot of money. Number one, your expertise. You must be, ooh, we have a yesterday's session here. Let me wipe that out. Is your expertise. How well you know your stuff? How well you know the market? You know why people like Zestimates? There are two reasons why they like it. And we both know there'll be plenty of jokes how inaccurate Zillow estimates are. But here's why the consumers like it, for two reasons. It's fast. I just go on a website, put my address in, and voila, done. No bullshit, no haggling, no fees, no time, no delays, no waiting. It's instant, and it's a specific number. Your expertise, so you must be an expert in that stuff. So when you sit down with the seller, you tell them the best list price for your property in order for it to sell needs to be $695,000 or less. If we go over $700,000, we're going to outprice ourselves. We're going to be in a range that's not going to attract the right buyers, not going to get sold. That's it. I deliver with confidence, with authority. There's no haggling, there's no negotiation. Seller has no say-so in this. Make sense? You must know the market. You must know your shit inside out. You must know how to get the property sold. You must know how to get the job done. That's your expertise. Number two, authenticity. What that means is the days of sales pitches, scripts, tricks, manipulation, bye-bye. Nobody has time or the desire to put up with that salesy nonsense. It's done. So those that believe the same old will still work, the pushy tactics, the manipulation, it's over, baby. And that's not just in communication, that's in your marketing, that's in your presentation, that's in your presence on social media. You got to be authentic, because if you can develop, and this is the good news, a relationship and a connection with your potential clientele, where it's not Joe the realtor, but Joe the cool guy, the father, the neighbor, the member of the community, the son, the interesting guy, and a real estate expert on top of it, that's going to make you unstoppable, because Zillow is a faceless entity. Realtor.com is just a faceless big thing, corporation. If you can position yourself as both authentic, real human being and an expert, you're going to carve yourself a niche so deep and so powerful, nobody can touch that. Step three, you become an expert on nurture of your leads. Because a lot of these agents going after Zillow leads, going after Realtor.com leads, quick, now. They call, I reply, show the house, sell. That works percentage, small percentage. Where you're going to win is positioning as an expert, being authentic, and nurturing the relationship. Because as you know, people phase in three parts. There's the, we're thinking about it, down the road. That's the nurture part. Then we're educating ourselves, we're looking, and now we're ready to go. And if you can catch them at the beginning and nurture through the process, you're going to have such a powerful relationship with them, you're going to be untouchable by competition, by these portals, by anybody else. So the game is changing. Nurture. What that requires is rock solid follow-up. So the acquisition of the lead is just the first step. Where the real magic happens is right here, during your follow-up. Because those that hope I'm just going to run an ad on Facebook and get those who are ready now, the trouble you're running into, and the reason those campaigns are very often ineffective, is because you're going up against already people in the nurture zone with whom those people have a relationship with. Because you already know the success of your business stands on one word. You know what it is? You already know, right? My students know. You rock stars know. Trust. Trust. It's going to come down to who they trust. Who is their best choice? Now, with that said, be ready. We have room for Walmart. We have room for Nordstrom. We have a room for Ford, and we have room for Mercedes-Benz. There's a $400,000 Rolls-Royce Ghost, and there's a $10,000 Toyota Corolla. So there will be some market who will resonate with the cheapest, easiest, fastest solution. Cheapest in terms of fees. And there'll be some who will want an expert, who will want somebody who's authentic, with whom they have a good relationship. And they don't mind paying the premium. There will always be a room for that. There will always be a room for an expert like you. Now, you have to step up your game. The way you communicate, the way you're confident, the way you present your brand, the way you present your expertise. Little selling, more education, more goodwill, more guidance. Because the shift will occur from the standard salesperson, which very often we're still portrayed as, to a guide. We're actually lucky, guys. The real estate process is so emotional and so complex and so difficult for a regular civilian. Well, shit, it's difficult for many agents, but for the regular folks, especially those who haven't sold a house in 10, 15 years, it's mind-boggling. That's why so many for sale by owners fail. You would think with this day and age, with all the technology, it should be easy. Clearly, it's not. The data points completely the opposite. It's harder and harder for them to sell on their own. And that's just for sale by owners. Everybody is overwhelmed. It is very emotional, it is very difficult, it is very challenging, and at one point, at least once, there comes a point in the transaction where it looks like it's all going to fall apart, right? Am I the only one that deals like that? That's where you come in. That's where your expertise come in, and you, as the calming force holding it all together and knowing how to put the pieces back together so the deal works and you close. Because then, as a rock star and as a savior, you're not going to only be viewed as the person to go to, but attract referrals as a result. Where you say, oh man, this guy, we had the craziest deal, he helped us, he put it all together, it was fantastic. We totally trust him. Does it all make sense, guys? So now, what do you have to do to score 5 points, 5 stars in every single one of those? What will it take in order for you to say, I score 5 on expert, I score 5 on being authentic, I'm an expert on nurture, I have a rock solid follow-up, and I position myself as a guide. And all my marketing, all my communication, all my presentation, all my advertising is congruent with all that. Because that's the image, that's my brand I'm putting out there. And then, of course, what tools do you need to make this work? And that's important. Because the last part is, what lead systems do you have in place? See, now a lot of agents are freaking out, as you show in that article, because a big click, big cut is happening. What I always tell you is be control of your lead and your follow-up. Never trust one entity, one funnel, one source for the income. Notice what we do, Borino Productions. I walk the walk. Think about it. I have a group here on Rockstars that we utilize. I have my lives. I have videos. I have my email list. I have multiple channels. So if, God forbid, Facebook folds one day or Congress says, you know what, Mark Zuckerberg, fuck you, they pull the plug, I'm not out of business. If your business relies on single source, and it can be even something as referrals, you're asking for trouble. Never rely on just a single source. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Be a master of several baskets, absolutely. But make sure that some of those baskets don't depend on other entities, a la Zillow, a la realtor.com and others, where you're in control, where you do what I refer to as active marketing and prospecting to high probability leads, because that way you control it. See, Zillow can fold tomorrow. You guys who follow my advice and do expireds, do for sale by owners, do referrals, do open houses, do all that stuff, will not be affected by it. On contrary, there'll be more market open up to you because a lot of the agents who depended on being fed these leads, a lot of teams who spend a lot of money to feed the team members these leads, will get fucked. As it's already happening. And they're pulling their hair out going, what the hell are we going to do now? How am I going to feed my team my leads? Where you just go, I got my systems in place. And it's fine if on top of it you have these systems feeding the leads. That's great. But if the plug gets pulled on those, one collapses. Like remember when Google went through the big shakeup. Google pay-per-click. One day was fantastic. Next day it went bonkers. Facebook, one day was great. Next day changed the algorithms, changed the rules. Bam. And it's going to happen again. Stay flexible, stay educated, watch it. Because just as there is a doom and gloom for many, some of you guys are right now going, yeah, baby, I see opportunity. Because I know my market. I'm an expert. I know how to lead generate. I have a good follow-up in place. I'm a good communicator. I'm a high-status, confident agent because I took Borino classes. A little pitch there. Snuck it in there. You barely noticed. It was very subconscious. Go sign up for Path. You didn't hear it. You follow me? That's what's going on. And it will happen again. It will happen again. There'll be another shift, another evolution. With the AI and the technology evolving as fast as it is, be ready that this will happen more frequently. And it will sometimes come from very unexpected places. But I am going on record, mark my words, you will see big organizations and companies and systems like Facebook, like Amazon, move in. Because it's not just the 4 million transactions this year, somewhere around there. That's what's predicted lately. That's just the commissions. A lot of money, for sure. But what about the auxiliary services? The repairs, the home warranty, the title, the home insurance, the mortgage. That's a lot of money. And if these companies have the systems to move in, if they have the AI to analyze and predict who's going to get what and do what, you got to stay sharp, my friends. That's why you need me. See, I'm never going to go out there and tell you spend thousands of dollars on these things. You can if you want to. If you have the budget for it and if you learn these things, fantastic. More power to you if it works for you. But what I'm offering is there are other alternatives that still work really well. They're way less expensive. You don't depend on any portals or anybody. You run your own show. Yes, it requires work, but it's going to come down to only two things. Work or cash. And if you ain't going to spend the whole lot of thousands of dollars cash on this shit, you better hustle. You better get your ass out there and work. Now, the good news is there's plenty of opportunities. There's plenty of people. People are moving all the time. 12% of Americans, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, will move this year. Think about that. That's a boatload of moves. All right. Any questions? Let's see. Dominic. Yeah. Look what Dominic is saying. Pulling up to my next FSBO appointment. Got to go. Go get him, Dominic. Yes, baby. Hey, Jeremy says, good morning, everybody. Look at this. Andrea says, just got a listing appointment from your expired program. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Volume okay? You said it's low. That's what I'm saying. It's possible. There is business out there, my friends. There are opportunities out there. People are doing every day. I'm still here. Okay, Richard is still there. Everybody's there. All right, we got cut off for a second there. So, as you can see, people are doing it. There is evidence. Andrea just got an appointment. Dominic is on an appointment. Those are my students. Those are people who study what I teach you. So here is my final words on this, other than what we talked about here. Be an expert, be authentic, nurture your leads, set up a good solid follow-up, talk to these people, be in touch with them, be their guide, set up good lead systems. Where are the leads right now? Set your funnels. I want you to become jack of all trades, master of none. Master 4 lead generation funnels. And you pick whatever you feel is the most profitable way to generate business. Not the most convenient, which very often people just flock to these portals because it's just convenient. It's safe. It's comfortable. Because they think, well, people come to you. You're still talking to fucking strangers. You still have to convert a stranger into an ally. You still have to build a relationship. How is that any different? Whether you got it through Zillow or not doesn't matter. It's just another salesperson in their perspective trying to solicit them. Think about it. You still need to know how to do that. There still requires a skill. You with me? So set up funnels that you master and invest some time to really get good at that stuff. The low-hanging fruit would be my recommendation. New and old expired. People who are already in the process doing something, that's a no-brainer. For sale by owners, same thing. Work your sphere of influence. If you know that 12% of people you know will move, or they know somebody who's going to move, that would be like automatic. Do a good open house once a week. On a weekend, 4 hours of really good open house where you market it, you prepare it, pass out some flyers, talk to some people. That's all you really need. Maybe run some Facebook ads to promote the open house, maybe promote your listings, nurturing, building relationships, shoot some videos. Keep in touch with people. That's a solid business model. That makes sense. That's what I would do. All right? You with me, guys? I don't know why that was still in the shot. Mark, what are you doing to us today? I can be bashing Facebook. Immediately they go out. Let's fuck with them. Let's set things up. All right, guys. So that's your homework. Evaluate. Really be honest with yourself. What's really my expertise? Can you go to a property right now in your neighborhood, could you walk in, do a little walkthrough, take notes, sit down with the seller and give him an accurate list price? Can you do that? And can you be relatively accurate when it comes to sales price? If the answer is no, get your shit together, let's go study. Preview properties, study the market, check the hot sheet every day, go to open houses, go to brokers open, see what's going on. Why is certain property selling, why that one isn't? What are the price thresholds? Where is the threshold? If I overprice it by this, it's not going to sell. Can you take a property right now? Do this as a test. Can you take a property that recently sold without looking at the list price and sales price? Can you check bedroom, square footage, condition, all that, and arrive at about the same sales price? Is that possible? Could you do that? And if you're off, you got a problem. Because that's what the sellers expect. That's why Zillow is so popular. Zillow can do that. Yes, I know it's off. But can you do that? And can you be more accurate than Zillow? Zillow is off usually what, by 5% or so. Can you come closer? Think about that. That's your expertise. And what about your listings? What about the existing listings? Do you have a listing that hasn't had a showing in 7 days? Do you currently have a listing on the market that has not had a showing in the last 7 days? You know what that means? The fucker is not marketed right, and most importantly, it's overpriced. That's what it means. If nobody came to see it in the last 7 days, you've got a problem. And the sellers are already thinking, we hired the wrong agent. That's your expertise. How authentic are you? If I go on your Instagram account, if I go on your Facebook account, if I check your YouTube videos, can I get a sense of who you are and why people like you, why you resonate with your marketplace? Game is changing. How are you nurturing? How do you nurture your leads? What is your follow-up like? What system do you use? Is your CRM set up? Does it include all channels of communication? Is your frequency set up right? Are you positioning yourself as a guide? Have you been able to shed the salesperson, the persona? Hey, I am Borino, the real estate guy. That was pretty good. Are you their guide? Do you have enough authority to tell them that's a bad idea? We're not going to do that. We're going to do this instead because it's in your best interest. Do you have your client's best interest at heart? Or is it usually driven by commission? Mine was driven by commission for a very long time. The funny thing is people pick up on it. They can tell. Shift that. And what about your lead systems? Because that's really the lifeline of your business. Your business runs on leads. That's the fuel. How many leads have you generated today? What about yesterday? If you don't spend 50% of your effort and energy and time on lead generation or more, you're in long-term trouble. You may have deals now, you may have things in the pipeline now. But what about 3 months from now? What about 6 months from now? How organized is your day where you spend 50% bringing new business in, feeding it into your CRM, nurturing it by being authentic, expert, and a guide? See, it's all connected. If you haven't generated business today, no new leads today, if you haven't done anything to move the business forward, to expand it, you're in long-term trouble. That's the reality, my friend. Nick says, could literally be just the marketing also. That happens often. It's just that bad. Buyers and agents will steer clear unless it's priced way too low. That's possible. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what will happen, my friends. It's time to pay attention to what's going on out there and where you position yourself. Because if you don't watch it, watch what's going to happen. A lot of agents this year, I've been predicting this since December last year, will be fatalities. They won't be with us anymore. Some of you, unfortunately, will not be with us anymore. You will not survive. And you know why? The answer is right here, one of these. Or maybe a combination. Are you ready? Are you ready for the change? Now, I don't want to be a downer. I know usually these are very uplifting with a lot of technology or a lot of tools and tips and advice. But my job as your guide is to stay ahead, to stay abreast and let you know this is what's going on. You better pay attention. Our industry is changing. There's a shift. This is what it's going to take to crush it, to be good at it. All right. That's my message today. Any questions? Anything I can answer for you guys? Shannon likes my jokes. That's good. Richard's still here. Good. Yeah, I don't know why I got cut off. Okay, my friends. Short and sweet. If you want my help, this is the place. It's called The Path, where I help you with all the elements that you need to have in place to succeed. I will help you set up the mindset you need to have so that you're focused, so that you're positive, so that you expect good things. We start with that. I'll help you set up your communication. That's more critical than ever these days. How you come across. I'll help you set up your planning. How your day is structured. What you need to focus on. I will set up your lead generation systems. I will help you with your follow-up. Everything, including a listing presentation, you will get from me. Plus, I will help you personally set it all up. I will hold you accountable. We have monthly accountability, weekly accountability sessions. We have training sessions. All you need to succeed. And you can. And many of you are doing well. My job is to help you. My job is to guide you, to crack my whip if I have to advise you, to teach you. It can be done. It can be done. You can do this. I trust you can. And many of you are doing it, which is fantastic. All right, guys. That's it for today. Shannon says, thank you, Borino. How do we bridge the gap between technology and old school lead generation methods? Vic, good question. Let's answer that real quick. How do you bridge the gap between technology and old school lead generation method? Here is how you bridge the gap. Start with, where are the best leads right now, Vic? We've talked about this many times. New and old expired listings. I would like to work with leads whose mindset is already in the process. Yes, some of your leads will be nurture. We talked about it, 6 months, 12 months down the road. That's one group. But there are some who will be ready sooner. So you're going to work your for sale by owners, you're going to work your expires. Now here's the best news. Start with leads, not the technology. I get agents who come to me and says, teach me something about postcards. I'm like, you're starting in the middle. Start at the beginning. What do you want? Where are we going with this? Who is your target audience? What do you want? Do you want more listings? Do you want more buyers? What do you want? So start with that. Who do I want? I want to attract sellers, motivated, good sellers in this area. Fantastic. Let's start with that. Can you do FSBOs there? Can you do open houses there? Can you do direct mail there? And then you're going to look for technology that will, one, allow you to communicate to them, like Facebook Live, for example. That would be one example of how to incorporate that. How to keep in touch with them, how to connect with them. Because at the end, you're building connections. You're building trust. You're building conversations. You're building these bridges between a potential lead and you. So the way you merge it is, it's going to come down to your authentic skills, your expertise. That's the old school. Still building trust, still building the guide, still being the guide and an expert. But leveraging with all the latest tools we have. Chatbots, video, live, texting, instant messaging, all that will be incorporated in that. But it needs to serve that purpose. It is not just like, I'm going to use chatbots now. Let's figure out how we can make it, how we shoehorn it into our business. That's not what I mean. You start with the prospect, who you want to attract, what is the goal, and then how I communicate, how I can incorporate these systems into the communication channels that we already have in place. That's how we include the technology. Not technology for the sake of technology. Technology for the sake of serving your clients while making money. Did I answer your question? So that's how you do it. And the good news is the technology has become so inexpensive. Like a broadcast like this, even though Zuckerberg is fucking with us today, broadcasts like this cost thousands of dollars not that long ago. In equipment, camera, software, all that. I need to have people running it and all that. Now you can do it all from your phone. Which again means great opportunity for many. Yeah? All right, friends. Was that helpful? Shannon says, at what point should I put expireds into a CRM from lead generation? Excellent question, Shannon. I'm thinking about mailing the Borino postcards in unique envelope rather than just a postcard. Thought on this delivery. Well, let's talk about the CRM first. You put them there immediately. You need to have a central housing system for all your leads. Immediately. Your leads should be in your CRM right away. Unless, one exception, if you get them on the phone, they say, thanks for calling, Sharon, we already relisted. We're already back on the market with our previous agent. That's the only time I would, of course, not do anything with them. I don't want to solicit other people's listings. But if they say we have not relisted, they go immediately into my CRM. But what about those who say we don't want to list? All of them will tell you we don't want to list. Majority of the expireds at the beginning will tell you no. But I know from experience, and many of you do as well, and if you just check your MLS, you will see that many of those go back on the market. Sometimes it takes some nurturing, takes some follow-up, but they will go back. So it's always a good idea to have them in a CRM because you just don't know which ones and how soon. Now, yes, occasionally if you have a nice relationship with them and connection with them and conversations, and they'll say, plans have changed, we're really not going anywhere. The job transfer didn't go through, or we're getting divorced, or my husband is sick, or whatever. You know, life changes, circumstances. But even with those, I would once in a while ping them. Even those can change because life changes, circumstances change, plans change. And if somebody tried once, there is a chance, bigger or smaller, depending on the circumstances, they'll try again. In order for you to reach them and connect with them and build that relationship and trust we talk about, you need to have a central place. So check out a good CRM. If you don't have one, look into LionDisk, look into Realty Juggler, look into Follow Up Boss, look into a million others. Pick one, put your leads there, keep in touch. Here's where it gets tricky. Agents think, I have a CRM, I have a drip campaign, I'm sending them emails, spamming the shit out of them. Of course they're going to call me when they're ready. Times have changed, my friends. Your emails don't get read that much. We all get junk. So in order for you to be authentic and nurture and be their guide, it requires more creative approach. Direct mail, phone calls, texts, video, social media, sometimes visits, but definitely communication, conversations, and they need to be two-way. That's what a good follow-up is all about. Now, to answer your question, envelope versus regular postcard, you can try it. You know, I tried all kinds of crazy stuff. Once I got arrested. This was in Pico Rivera, California, I think. Was it Pico? I think so. I had an expired letter in a red tube. I got these plastic tubes with a little string. You pull on the string, there was a letter, a little flyer in there. Boom, your listing has expired. And I would drop these off. Try to be clever. I learned it from my man, Walter Sanford. And I would leave these off, and somebody thought I was leaving an explosive at somebody's front door. And they called the cops on me, so I stopped using it. So I tried all kinds of things, creative envelopes, this, that. Here's what I can tell you about most of the marketing. It's going to end up in the trash. Although I had some sellers, surprising. Like, I had this guy call me, still remember. He calls me up, says, we would like to sell our house. So I qualify them, go there for a listing appointment, I sit down with him. He brings a manila envelope, one of those folders, opens it up, and I'm not kidding you. Every postcard, every letter, every market update, every thank you note, everything I've sent them, he collected for a period of like 8 months. Why? What? Don't know. But it happens. My point is this. Most of it, in most cases, unlike this guy, will end up in the trash. Whether it's a postcard they glance at and throw away, or an envelope they get, open, look at, and throw, I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference. Keep it simple. Get it done. What is the most efficient way to get it done? This will move the needle maybe slightly. But if it's a difference between getting it done, not getting it done now, then later, do it now. Just get it out the door. And yes, you can test it. You know, I used to agonize over, should it be red color or white color? Should it be this font or that font? Should the picture be here or there? It's not going to make a huge difference. It doesn't matter a whole lot. Don't overthink any of this. Just get it done, Shannon. All right? Shannon says, I'm really appreciating and utilizing the postcards letters that you offer in Expired Plus. It's really making my life easier, so much more productive in being able to continue reaching out to my future clients. Thank you. Well, that's part of it. That's great that you're doing it, Shannon. Just remember, communication, conversations, visits, package, phone calls, texts, it must be all of it. The mail helps, and sometimes it really is the only way you can communicate with them. So keep going. But if you can open other channels, that's better. Okay? Rebecca, I see your comment that you're still waiting on the stuff. If you feel like it's late, just shoot us a quick email or call my office. And Roseanne and Kat or Yulia or somebody on the staff will be able to help you, okay? It takes about a week from printer bees after the final proof arrives. Good, yes, perfect. Oh, print material error, you mean from the printer bees. Gotcha, okay, cool. Yeah, it takes a while, but great that you're getting it done. Now, guys, don't get too stuck on, I don't have everything perfect, therefore I will not go and talk to expired listings. I will not prospect, I will not lead generate. Stop that nonsense. I listed expired listings with nothing but a business card, sometimes not even that. And I had those shitty ones that they give you when you join the company, because I didn't have the money to print the fancy ones. Don't overthink it. The print materials help, the resume helps, the expired package helps, of course. Those are good tools. But at the end, it's about you. You being able to connect with another human being, having a conversation with them, understanding their position, understanding their situation, qualifying them, while presenting yourself and positioning yourself away from all the other sales crowd, and determine, can I help these people? And where in those three phases are they? Beginning, middle, or right now? And with expireds, very frequently, it's going to take a little bit of time because they're so disappointed and so emotional and so frustrated and so confused. And there's very little trust, not just with you, but in the industry as general. So it requires some patience in many cases. But that doesn't mean you can't start. Make sure it's not an avoidance behavior. Oh, I don't have my package, I don't have my resume, I need to wait. Don't do that. Go out it right now. All right. Hey, Mr. Jim Steele, good to see you, friend. Thank you for all you do and have done for me. Love working with you guys. And someone like you, Jim, I really appreciate, because even though life has thrown you some serious curveballs lately, you're out there. You're doing your best. And you're the kind of guy, and the reason I love you and the reason I love working with you is because no matter how hard you get punched, and God knows you have been, as many of us have, all of us, you get up, you dust yourself off, and you keep going. Because that's really all we can do. Doing our best under the circumstances. That's why the Borino rule number 1 is do the best you can with what you got. And if that's what you got, then that's what you got. And you're a great example how, in spite of the adversity and pain and difficulties, life goes on, you go on, serving people, helping people, making money, providing for your family, living the good life. Because at the end, it is a good life. Even though there is sadness and there is disappointments and there are setbacks. We live in the best part of the world in the best times where you can do amazing things. You're called to do amazing things. To handle somebody such a huge investment as a house, worth sometimes close to $1 million, sometimes more, or even $200,000. Where somebody comes to you and says, I trust you enough with this biggest thing, the most expensive thing I've ever had, that really is going to have a huge impact on our life, how and when it's going to sell, where we're going to move. You are the one who is entrusted with that. That's a big deal. And for time being, no Zillow or anybody else can replace that. That's where you, as the expert and a guide, come in. And that's a big deal. There's a lot of trust riding on it. You just need to live up to it. And I know you, Jim, and many of my students, you guys do. What about the rest of you? Before you have the right to ask for the commission, do you have what it takes to ask for the commission? Before you have the right to ask to get paid, are you enough of an expert and a guide to have the right to get paid? Something to think about. All right. My dear friends, that's our message today. Thanks for being here today. I apologize for the trouble that Facebook is giving us. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Come join us on the path. Would love to have you. I enjoy working with you immensely. I can give you the tools, the inspiration, the information. Make it happen. Go to goborino.com. I'll talk to you real soon. Coach Borino signing off. Let's go get him. Bye, everybody.